freed from the contamination of material illusion, false identification, attachment, detachment, and material absorption.
I think the proper term there is not detachment, but aversion. There are a lot of problems in the Nectar of Devotion. It was never really edited properly. Nobody went through and did a sense edit. Nobody went through and did a technical edit. So there are a lot of technical errors, and there are some sense errors as well. So I think this is a case where you have a slightly wrong choice of words. It's not attachment and detachment, because detachment is always recommended in the Vedas. But it's attachment and aversion. Attachment means when I want something, when I like something. And aversion means when I don't like something. I don't want it. My desire is not to get it. So both of these are a form of attachment. Attachment has two sides, desire and aversion. And Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā that one should be free from both. So in order to reach the spiritual platform, we have to have no strong likes in this material world, and also no strong dislikes. You see? Sometimes we see in neophyte devotees that they become very much averse to the material world, material energy. And when they're forced to contact material consciousness, they are like, oh, you know, they reject it. They become very much disgusted by it, and they're very averse to it. But then you see a more advanced devotee who will go through the same situation without really being bothered either way. See, so when it's described in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that when an advanced devotee gets something very nice, he does not become elated. And when he gets something that's not nice, he does not become depressed. He is not under the control of either attachment or aversion. In other words, he doesn't have strong likes and dislikes. He doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't have somatic reactions to likes and dislikes or desires for and against certain things. A person who is self-situated is seated as though neutral, Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā. He's seated as though neutral. He doesn't have strong judgments, positive or negative. You know, like Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada would be sitting and his devotees would come and say, Prabhupada, such and such happened, and so did this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And Prabhupada would say, this is going on. You know? It's like he wasn't like, oh, this is terrible. They tell him to stop immediately. And he was like, yeah, this is going on. Hare Krishna. So we should become attached to Krishna. This is a stage of devotional service. When we become attached to Krishna, it's called asakti. Asakti means that we only want to hear about Krishna, we only want to serve Krishna, we only want to be in relationship with Krishna. We don't want anything else. But in that stage, because Krishna is transcendental, it's not like we become allergic to his material energy. It's like, oh, that's Krishna's material energy, but I want Krishna himself. We don't become very hung up on it, you know, and get all bent out of shape. But, oh, material energy, you know, because that is as much of an attachment as lusting after material energy, you know, like the materialists do. You know, they see some advertisement or some picture of some nice material energy, and they're all like, ooh, ah, you know, drooling over it. I mean, that's very unintelligent. But it's just as unintelligent to have the opposite reaction. You know, that, oh, get that away, you know. So, because in either way, the material energy then is is gaining power over you. You're thinking of it, you know? Like the old joke, don't think of an elephant. Well, how can you not think of an elephant, right? Yeah. So as soon as you begin to think, oh, I don't like this, I don't want that, I want to get away from this, I want to stop that, immediately you're thinking of that thing. See? So people who try to stop bad material habits like sex life or ego attachment or criticism or whatever, by an act of will or by force, just wind up getting more attached to the same thing and falling more under its spell, because after all, they're simply feeding that thought in their mind. You know, I'm not going to think of an elephant. I'm not going to think of an elephant. You know, I mean, what good is that going to do? That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā that everyone follows their own nature. What can repression accomplish? And by that he doesn't mean, oh, it's okay, you don't have to follow these rules and regulations. No, what he's saying is that there's a higher level of spiritual process than trying to control the mind by force. See? Arjuna is complaining. Look at the context. Krishna says that. He's just given the whole Ashtanga Yoga system, the whole Sankhya Yoga system. And he says, yeah, okay, Arjuna, yeah, you should do that. If you really want to give up this fighting and go to the forest, here's what you have to do. You have to spread a seat of kusha grass and deerskin, and then sit there with complete detachment from everything material, and controlling the breath and the prana, and controlling the mind, and then da-da-da-da, and he goes through the whole explanation. If you really want to give up this fighting business and go to the forest, then here's the process. This is what you do. And Arjuna, after hearing this, goes, I can't do that. You know? So Krishna says, yeah, that's right. You can't change your fundamental nature. You're a kshatriya. You're not made up for this going to the woods. Your business is fighting. What can repression accomplish? Because a man always follows his real nature. So this leads to the next stage of Krishna's teaching, where he says, now what you have to do is take that nature, whatever it is, and simply engage that in Krishna's service. Not that you artificially try to repress the senses. No. You take the senses and you engage them in Krishna's service, and then Krishna purifies them. And then you don't have any more desire for material stuff. Neither desire nor aversion. See, neither attachment nor detachment. But the detachment is in the sense that you become attached to Krishna. And because you're attached to Krishna, you're not attached to Maya anymore. That's how it works. Is that good, Tiago? Another question?
Tiago said yes.
Good.
Okay, question from... Oh, I get lost. There's so many questions that devotees ask, and then they said the next verse. No, it's answered already. Like,
Krishna is inspiring, what can I say?
Question from Tiago. We can use almost all our qualities serving Krishna. But how do we know which of them will we have in spiritual world and which are only material?
The ones that are spiritual you won't be able to give up. You can become very engaged in spiritual life, and then you'll find that there are certain qualities, certain things about your personality that you won't be able to give up no matter how hard you try. Those are the spiritual qualities. For example, everybody wants love. Everybody needs love. We can't be happy, we can't be satisfied without love. But when we engage in loving affairs in this material world, there's always some imperfection, always some disappointment, always some unhappiness connected with it. They're not perfect. But when we take this same propensity, loving propensity, and we engage it in loving Krishna, then we experience real satisfaction, real peace, real, the kind of, the exact flavor of love that we wish to exchange, Krishna only can give that. Because only Krishna, remember we just talked about, he's all-cognizant. So he knows what's within our hearts. He knows exactly